Good evening. I hope you are well. My name is Carolina. I have been working on this trip to Peru with Gina for you, and I wanted to show you all the different options that we can create. There are so many different ways, and of course, you had a lot of notes for us, which is wonderful. The more we know, the better we can make the trip. So I'm going to jump on the itinerary right now and go through it with you. And that way you can jot down questions, ideas, what works, what doesn't, and we can tweak it and make it really your own. So if you see my screen here, this trip that I've put together for May 2026 is going to be 10 days. And let me explain why. I know you can only travel for a shorter period of time, but you have mentioned a lake, you have mentioned hiking, you have mentioned food and your love of cities and maybe being on the coast. So I wanted to show you a very leisure way to accomplish that. And that would require us to visit Lima, Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, Cuzco, and Lake Titicaca. So I've put this really brief itinerary here just so you can see every time that we have a different color, we would be switching hotels, which means we would first arrive to Lima. We are on the coast. This is the hub for culinary experiences. Some of the best restaurants in the world are here in Lima. Then we would fly to Sacred Valley, which is our entryway to Machu Picchu. So you fly into Cusco, but Cusco is in high altitude. You don't want to stay there. So we spend 2 days acclimating in the Sacred Valley, enjoying beautiful hotels, enjoying amazing touring in the area. Then a short train ride to Machu Picchu, get 2 visits of the ruins, really get to see the citadel, get some hikes in there, but only one night is required here. I would say 90% of people spend only one night. And then we're now in Cusco, May 6th and 7th. So that means, again, being in a beautiful, bustling city filled with history, museums, galleries, beautiful restaurants, again, lots of indigenous people. And then we can end with Lake Titicaca. It's just a train ride away, which is an experience in itself. And it will allow you a whole different aspect of Peru, completely pre-Inca culture, completely different language, traditions and people, and just a wonderful way to wrap it up on the water. So let me go into detail of the itinerary, but that is why the trip is 10 days. That is why I wanted to show you all those different areas. And of course, Peru has other places as well, but this kind of fits everything on your list here. If you want to shorten the trip and really just focus on Machu Picchu, we can remove Lima. We can arrive, spend the night at the airport hotel, and then go right into Sacred Valley the next morning. And we can remove Lake Titicaca. And that way we would focus on just this center of the trip, which would be Sacred Valley for acclimatization, Machu Picchu for the highlight of your trip, and then Cusco so you can get some culture, galleries, great restaurants, things like that. So this is your trip and you let us know what works, but I wanted to show you everything that's there. So if you were to go with this whole trip, let me show you how it would work. May 1st, you arrive to Lima. That's the main international airport. We always pick you up, always a big sign with your names on it. Private guide, private driver takes you right into the hotel in downtown Lima, which is about a 45-minute drive. And there are so many wonderful hotels here. I chose a new 5-star hotel. It's called Iberostar. It's right in Miraflores, right on the ocean, rooftop pool, rooftop bar. May is a great time to visit. It's actually my favorite month to visit Peru because the rainy season is over, probably the first week of April. So everything is lush and green, but there is no rain. There's no crowds of the summer. So it's a great time to explore, great time to be outdoors, and you can enjoy the pool. You can enjoy the sunshine. You can go to the coast, Lovers Park, and so forth. So great little boutique hotel that's right on the water. And then May 2nd, we dedicate to seeing Lima because May 1st, most likely you're going to arrive late in the evening. May 2nd, the way we do Lima is we combine the highlights of the city with food. So we have a tasting tour. You're going to go to the great ruins and have lunch there. You're going to go to the museum and have drinks there. You're going to go to the coast and maybe learn how to make a pisco sour. You're going to go to a market, taste some fruit, but also see the museum, see the cathedral, see the main square. So it's a nice balance completely private for the two of you, and we can customize this further. You let me know what is on your bucket list. For example, maybe you want to eat at one of the best restaurants in the world, then we will incorporate a reservation. We can get you a table at El Central, Maido, Maita. These are the best restaurants here. If you want to go and have a real cooking class, we can do that as well, really hands-on instead of just tasting. And of course, there's so many different things, surfing and so on. So Lima has a lot to see and do, but you can definitely tackle it in those 2 nights. And then May 3rd, 45 to 55-minute flight to Cuzco. And then from Cuzco, again, we pick you up at the airport and we whisk you off to Sacred Valley, which is 2,000 feet lower, which really helps with the altitude. So we highly suggest spending 2 nights in this lower altitude. Of course, we're not just going to lounge around and do nothing. We're going to show you the best of the Sacred Valley. And we like to balance it with sites that are very popular, like maybe the largest market or the largest ruins like Ollantaytambo, with less known sites like Misminay, which is an indigenous community that we sponsor, that will show you the Pachamanca ceremony, where you get to help the ladies cook underground and have this very traditional lunch. So when you arrive, we're in high altitude, we're going to take it easy and go to some scenic places that don't require a lot of hiking or walking, because we want to get you acclimated. Stay in a gorgeous boutique hotel. It's a lodge surrounded by mountains. You really wake up and you feel like you're in Peru here. And they include dinner for you. We always work with this hotel on a half board basis, and that's because you're in the middle of nowhere. You're most likely not going to go anywhere else for dinner. So we like to take care of it for you, so you have something lovely arranged. And then the next day, continue touring, seeing Sacred Valley, spend another day. Now you're fully rested. Now you're ready to tackle Machu Picchu. So May 5th, we're going to take you from that hotel, that beautiful hotel lodge in the mountains, to the train station. And then a 2-hour train ride will take you to Machu Picchu. It's a Vista Dome train, beautiful glass dome ceiling. And there, our guide, again, private guide, everything is private, just for the two of you. You're not joining groups. This way we can tweak it. This way we can go at your pace. This way, if you see something along the way that is interesting, we stop, we add it, we visit. Or if you're tired, we jump in the car and go back to the hotel. That is the beauty of creating something that is custom. So for Machu Picchu, you're going to go up to the ruins. We have a porter that will take you back to the hotel. You go up to the ruins for your first visit. And then you have lunch, then you come back to the village, check into your hotel, and spend the night. So here, because we're going to get to the hotel probably in the late afternoon, we're going to have dinner there and then sleep and then wake up in the morning for a sunrise visit before we leave Machu Picchu. Here, there are some beautiful 5-star hotels, some that are $1,500 a night. However, because you're staying such a short period, then I suggest Casa del Sol. It's a great boutique 4-star property. It's right on the river, great views, great restaurant, great beds. So you can rest, but not put all of your budget into this hotel. It's just a suggestion. I obviously have beautiful hotels for you. If you want to upgrade yourself here, just let me know. But the next morning, we're really rising with the sun, heading back up to the ruins for a second visit. And here is when we can do a little bit hiking. So I put a little map here of Machu Picchu. So the ruins are here. The ruins are split into six different circuits, and you would have done one of the circuits the day before. But today you can tackle another circuit and you can tackle some hiking. So we can do Huayna Picchu, which is quite famous. It's the biggest peak in Machu Picchu, quite strenuous, a little bit difficult. I did it last summer, and it's all stairs, slippery stairs all the way to the top. Or you can do Uchuy Picchu, which is half the size, much easier, shorter. There's also Machu Picchu Mountain, that is another climb, or a hike to the Inca Gate, to the Sun Gate. So there are a few different things that we can do on that second day, but either way, you're going to have your second visit to the ruins, and then lunch, and then train back to Cuzco, about 2 hours again. So once you arrive in Cuzco, now we're at our highest altitude so far that we've been in Peru. And so, but we're fully acclimated because we have been safely traveling through Sacred Valley and Machu Picchu. So now you can really enjoy the city. You can stay in a beautiful hotel. Palacio del Inca is a great, great property. It feels like a gallery, like a museum all on its own. It's It's an old a mansion that's been redone into a hotel. So you're going to spend 2 nights there. Let me know. Do you want to add a night? If you're only focusing on Machu Picchu, then we have the space to add a third night in Cusco, which would be a lovely addition so you can have some time. But please know, because these are private tours, even though you're touring every day, they are not full day tours. You're gonna have time to sit in a main square and people watch. You're gonna have time to go and eat in beautiful restaurants. You're gonna have some free time. What I arranged in Cusco is sleeping in, having a free morning, then a few hours touring to show you the highlights of Cusco, which is the main square, the cathedral, the temple of Coricancha, and then some of the ruins that are right outside, beautiful views from there. Then some free time for you. And then you're going to meet one of my chefs that is going to show you around Cusco like a local. And you're going to be hopping around different bars and restaurants, tasting, making drinks, tasting some local snacks and things like that. Really gets you, feel like you're a part of the city. And he will have some really great recommendations of where to eat. And of course, I have plenty of recommendations for you as well. So Cusco is a great town to explore. If you do it safely, if you do it at the end of your trip, because you don't want to do it in the beginning when you're acclimating and your body is going to get a shock to the system if you start touring too quickly. So then our last part of the trip is Lake Titicaca. So there is a beautiful train, Peru Rail, that rides from Cusco to Lake Titicaca 3 times a week. And so I've arranged it on a Friday, which is one of those 3 days. This is an 8.5 hour train ride, sometimes 9 hours. And some people are like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do on a train for 9 hours? This is one of my favorite experiences in Peru. It's a really luxurious train. You have, beautiful seats, beautiful lunch served. There is a part of the train that is completely open with leather couches, and you can sit out there with your pisco sour and watch these beautiful mountains go by. It stops one time. You can get out. There's a market. There's some indigenous people that usually come to the train track to show what they're making. So it's a beautiful cultural experience. There's live music on the train. There's all kinds of things that you can enjoy. Most people love this train because the trip to Peru is quite a fast-paced tour. You're moving, you're getting up, you're going to ruins, you're hiking, you're doing a lot of things. On this train, you just get to reflect, you just get to watch, you just get to enjoy, even take a little nap. So I highly suggest it. And it gets you to Lake Titicaca. So we're going to spend 2 nights on Lake Titicaca. The hotel I chose is only 5-star on the lake. It's the GHL hotel. It has its own port. It's great location, beautiful views. The whole point of going to Lake Titicaca is to experience the floating islands of Uros, which has the Uros people living on there. They're continuously building the islands. The boats are made out of islands. The houses are made out of islands. They eat the reeds. Everything is made out of the reed. And then also Taquila Island, which is a real island. And there it's very interesting because it's another tribe that lives there, and their chores are swapped. So the women are out in the fields farming and the men are weaving, which is very interesting. So that is why people go to Lake Titicaca. These are not Inca descendants. This is a completely different Aymara speaking culture. So very different from the Cusco Sacred Valley area. And that is why people come here. There's a beautiful necropolis as well. So we visit that on the way out on day 10. So that is what the trip would look like on 10 days. I put a quick map here simply to show you the size of Peru. And here is Lima, where you will fly for your international flight. There is Cusco. This is that 1 hour flight. Don't mind this 27 hours. That's just Google telling you that if you drove. But it's a 1 hour flight to Cusco here. Then you see Ollantaytambo. That is the Sacred Valley area where we will be resting for 2 days. Aguascalientes is Machu Picchu. So all of this is that triangle of the Incas. And then Lake Titicaca is down here. Juliaca is the airport. So you will see 3 very, very distinct areas of Peru on this itinerary. So I hope I didn't overwhelm you with all of this information. Let me know what your thoughts are if you would like to see a shorter itinerary. And of course, I'm sending everything over to Gina with pricing, with details, and we can tweak it as we go. Happy travels.